I'm scared and I'm terrified. I know the Master Duel algorithm is coming for me. Why? Well, if you watch my previous videos, you know we kind of breezed through Platinum rank with like a 90% win rate. It was absolutely crazy. Videos for those will be linked in the description. But since hitting Diamond rank on Thursday evening after work, we weren't able to play Friday, May the 12th, because work was too busy. But Saturday in the afternoon, we were able to play 5 more matches in Diamond rank. We went on another 5 win streak. I think we're on like a 10 overall since Platinum. And we hit Diamond 4. Now, of course, we're on Floowandereeze. Decklist video for this will also be linked in the description. But I think we're going to start losing a lot of our coin tosses. It's been about 50-50 since hitting Diamond. But if you watch my Platinum videos, you know we were losing a lot of coin tosses. I think that's coming back. And I think we're also going to be starting to brick a lot harder, and my opponents are going to open nuts. So if you're interested in seeing me struggle with the inevitable Master Duel algorithm coming to nerf me down a few pegs, make sure you're subscribed. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these matches so far since hitting Diamond. Alright, looking at this opening hand, it's not that great, but we do have to banish our DD Crow with Advent of Adventure to be able to play, and the opponent just scoops upon seeing that. I guess they just really didn't want to go up against Floowandereeze. Yeah, I won't be posting too many Diamond matches that are like that, I guess. So, I don't know if it's just me, but I often find that when I face up against Floowandereeze in the mirror match, which, spoiler alert, yep, this is Floowandereeze, I often find my opponents misplaying. Or maybe it's just that I think of the way that they play in a weird way. So this guy, I understand this play because they want to play around a potential impermanence, so I can understand that, but I'm going to point out some things in the mirror match that I'm going to say maybe lost the opponent the match, or if they played it better, they may have been able to lock me down. Because my opening hand actually isn't the greatest. I took a Robina off of their Jack, and I had my own. I drew my 2 Toucans and a DD Crow, which is kind of dead in this match. The only thing it's really good for is an interruption for a Stree. Assuming the opponent tries to banish their own card, I chain DD Crow and banish it for them so that the Stree fizzles. I try to go battle phase as soon as the opponent passes the turn, and they're of course going to trigger off their Dreaming Town to bring an Apex to field. Now, I'm in a pretty rough spot because the opponent does have multiple interruptions. They're going to get their map summon off here, and it's clear that they opened up multiple tribute monsters, but they are going to search for another one here in the Rise Up, and then summon the Stree. And the way that this chain link worked out for them is really nice because of all the chain blocking, they obviously realize it's not worth activating Apex. And then the one time I actually needed to chain block something, I obviously can't because it's not a trigger effect, is the DD Crow to attempt to fizzle the Stree. The opponent then, of course, triggers the Apex to negate the DD Crow and then bring the Apex back to field. So now I have to go through yet another potential negate with the Apex. And the opponent is also going to opt to activate their Dreaming Town to flip my Empin face down. So I'm just going to chain the Advent, and this was actually pretty dangerous because if the opponent negates this, I guess I'd actually be okay because I could play with maps still. But it would have put me in a weird... No, sorry, I'm actually searching map. What am I saying? Yeah, if they negated this, I wouldn't be able to grab map off of it, and my turn would end, and they could probably OTK me next turn, right? So yeah, if they opted to negate this with Apex, I definitely would have lost. So good thing that they didn't, because what I'm going to be able to do now is, now that the field is clear, and that's part of the reason why you advented the Empin away, is I'm now going to activate... Jeez, I forgot the name, Evenly Matched, so that the opponent is forced to activate their Apex. Honestly, knowing that I brought map to hand, I guess they didn't want to banish their 1-of map and their Empin, but you know, the Apex negate probably was more important because what else am I going to do? Like, if you know it's a mirror match, you probably know that not letting me get map on the field or saving your Apex for map since you didn't negate the search off of Advent was my only way to extend. But anyways, the opponent lets it resolve, and now we're able to play, finally clearing the Apex off the board. Obviously, in the Floowandereeze mirror match, whoever goes first sets up first, and it's, I don't want to say it shouldn't be an auto win because who's going second can sometimes break the board easily. It's not very often that you can break it easily, but if your opponent doesn't set up properly, you can sometimes outplay them. But if they open up all the power spells, it's pretty much GG's. So the opponent is now also attempting to go battle phase, and of course I have to activate my Dreaming Town because what the opponent can do is just suicide the Empins here, and then with their field clear activate Evenly Matched, and then I'm screwed. So my only fear here is, do they have 2 evenly matched? And so we negate 1. We know they got a lot of their birds in rotation in hand, and some of the cards in their hand are all their tribute monsters. But now we have control of the match, right? Because we were able to out their cards thanks to Unexplored Winds. We sent them to the graveyard, so they're not easily recoverable instantly with Toucan. They have to go through a Stree and a Toucan rotation to save them. And we have the unexplored winds and our own map up. So this is now what we're using for an interruption since we already used our Dreaming Town. And we'll also have the ability to flip these cards face down if we wanted to as well. So let's see what we do here. Ooh, that hurts. Off of the Stree. The opponent has their own DD Crow interruption to stop our Stree and fizzle it to prevent us from summoning. So the play here probably would have been not bring back Eaglin and leave it so that I could target it with Toucan. You have to play around DD Crow. That was my misplay. You know, just not anticipating that they would be on DD Crow. So yeah, you definitely want to try to play around it. And that's why Stree can be so perilous in both the mirror match and against Tearlaments, because there's so much graveyard interruption with the DD Crows and the Grave Shufflers. So now my summoning is over. I'm kind of screwed. The opponent is going to be able now to go full rotation, and they have their unexplored winds also in rotation. They're going to Stree banish the map. Two can bring it back, but they've used all their small birds, so they can't activate any more effects, meaning that their map can't be triggered this turn. They're going to attempt to Ryza, put back our cards, and we're actually going to chain Advent here because we were going to get ahead because we're going to search, and then the Ryza is going to resolve to put map on top of our deck. We would just bring back map, activate it, and then using the first summon of the turn, activate unexplored, or not activate, but trigger the unexplored winds to summon the Apex, tripping off their map. That will prevent their map from activating. We'll get a negate on board, and then we can play off of map for our regular summons and negate anything the opponent does. Off the regular summons, we can bring out Ryza, stack the opponent's deck, so we were definitely in control here. But it's funny to actually see that the opponent is going to lose to time limit. That's the problem when you play during your opponent's turn. Sometimes you got to be aware of that time, but GG's to the opponent. We were winning that either way. Alright, so as you saw from that opening clip, we are doing some work in Diamond, and into Diamond 4 now. We are going second, losing coin tosses, so hopefully this isn't the trend. But the opponent apparently bricks, probably on a Shizu tier, summon Keldo, pass. We're now going to go ahead and activate Pot of Extravagance. We draw into Unexplored Winds, and our hand is actually pretty good because this Gold Sark can banish the Robina. We summon Eaglin, we get Robina back, and we're able to play from there. But the Pot of Duality is going to actually reveal some bangers for us. Book of Moon, Advent of Adventure, and Robina. Honestly, we'd probably take Advent there and just play off of map on banishing the Crow. And we have like every spell in rotation at the end with the M-Pin, so the opponent kind of realizes it. Probably seeing the Robina is enough for them to scoop, but yeah, fortunately my guy bricked, and that's a GG's. Alright, for all you Tearlaments haters out there, I've got a really special match for you. So we're going second, but we've got the D-Shifter. The opponent starts off with Medora pitching Kelbeck and activating Gravekeeper's Trap. We're going to chain Shifter when they chain the Kelbeck off the discard here, and they're going to opt to chain Gravekeeper's Trap to ditch Medora into the graveyard so they have a Grave Shuffler alive for next turn, but it's not going to matter. So off the search, the opponent's going to grab Kelbeck, thinking that they're going to play next turn. They normal summon Sharon, so not activating the effect because they know anything that they pitch will get banished. And off of the Kelbeck Mill 5, we banish a Rhino Heart, an Agido, and a Heartbeat of Relevance. On our side though, with our hand still being kind of bricky, but we can unbrick it technically with the Advent of Adventure using the Ryza, the opponent actually unbricks our hand for us because now we can search for Toucan, get back map, or M-Pin, get Robina back on any small bird summon, and just play from there. So when the Mill 5 goes in your favor, I think you should always open Dimension Shifter. I think when you ditch a Shizu Miller, it should give you the option, do you want to search your deck for your opponent want to search their deck for a D-Shifter? That would be so lovely, because it really does turn the tide of the match here. The opponent can't do anything but go into a Baguska and pass turn. And if you've been paying attention to my other videos, you know that there's something very, 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 very powerful that we can do against Tearlaments if we can keep the Ryza without having to banish it off of Advent of Adventure. Sure enough, we do draw the Toucan here, and then we're going to go Book of Moon on the Baguska, so we have the out to it. One of the many reasons why Book of Moon can be so good. We summon the Toucan after activating Unexplored Wind. Toucan's going to bring back map because it's just additional follow-up for next turn, or during the opponent's turn really, and then go through the rotation with Robina, grab an M-Pin, and now we're going to Tribute 2. So don't use Unexplored Winds for Ryza, otherwise you can't bring it back to hand. And we are going to target the Baguska, the D-Shifter in the graveyard, and the Ryza on field back to hand. We're going to go battle phase and attack just in case the opponent has evenly matched. We don't want to overcommit to anything just yet. If they did evenly, we would just banish the Unexplored Winds because we do play 2, and we can easily search out the second one next turn. So in main phase 2 though, we are now going to, actually we may have even just banished the M-Pin here, because what we're going to do here is really nasty. We're going to actually activate the Unexplored Winds, put back the Toucan so that we draw the Shifter we put on top of our deck with the Ryza, when we summoned it. So then we're going to activate maps, set the Dreaming Town, set Advent of Adventure. Can the opponent draw the out? It doesn't even matter because we're going to D-shifter in the draw phase to play around a Tactics Talents, which we saw that they may play 3 of because we banished one. The opponent realizes it's over, and that's a GG.